It's no secret that the Los Angeles Dodgers have crushed the draft in recent years. Players that they have drafted since 2014, the start of their winning streak, went on to produce 117.4 WAR. That's good for the 5th most in the league. This doesn't necessarily mean that all the value is for the Dodgers, but the players that they drafted have been very valuable. This isn't the end of the analysis though. We should really take into account the fact that the 1st overall pick is a lot different than the 30th overall pick. Here's a graph that shows the average value that each player produced for players drafted from 2006 to 2015. The 1st and 3rd picks are up near 20 WAR on average, while most of the picks in the 30s or 40s are near 0. This is what we expected. High picks are generally much more valuable than lower picks in the 1st round, and this line represents the expected value of each draft pick approximately. Now that we have this expected model, we can truly analyze how well a team is drafted in the 1st round by comparing how well they were expected to do given the spot they were drafting at. When adjusting for that, the Dodgers move their way to the top. They have drafted 72 WAR over the expected amount. The Padres are in 2nd, followed by the Yankees, Astros, and Cubs. Then you see a lot of the unsuccessful teams in the negatives. The Pirates, Rockies, White Sox, Twins, the Mets also find themselves down there, which is a reason why they aren't as competitive even though their payroll is on the same level as the Dodgers. Hitting on your 1st round picks is a pretty strong predictor of team success. Let's now quickly go through some of the notable Dodger draft picks over the past few years. In 2012, they drafted Corey Seager with the 18th pick, Cody Bellinger in the 4th round in 2013, Alex Verdugo in the 2nd round in 2014, Walker Buehler with the 24th pick in 2015, Gavin Lux with the 20th pick, Will Smith with the 32nd pick, and Dustin May with the 101st pick in 2016, Connor Wong in the 3rd round in 2017. In 2019, they took Michael Busch with the 31st pick. In 2020, they took Bobby Miller with the 29th pick. In 2021, they got Ben Kasparius with their 5th rounder, Emmett Sheehan with their 6th rounder, and Justin Robleski with their 11th rounder, all 3 key pitchers in their most recent World Series run. In 2022, they got Dalton Rushing and Alex Freeland, both currently highly touted prospects. That was a long list, and a list most other teams could only dream of having. The Dodgers seem to hit on at least one quality major leaguer every single draft, and some teams can go years without getting one of those. This is likely due to the approach that the Dodgers have when assigning their staff members. They have superstar scouts, superstar coaches, superstar developers that identify which players they should draft, and once they get into the organization, they develop them and maximize their value. But this is not the only way the Dodgers acquire prospects to sustain their top-tier farm system. Another way is trading. After the 2014 season, the Dodgers traded Matt Kemp to the Padres for Yasmani Grandal and others. Grandal went on to be worth 20.6 WAR with the Dodgers, while Kemp put up just 0.7 WAR for the rest of his career. Not too bad, I would say. During the 2016 season, they traded Zach Lee for Chris Taylor. Taylor would go on to accrue 17 WAR with the Dodgers, while Zach Lee was out of Major League Baseball after 2017. Not too bad. Before the 2019 season, they traded Yasiel Puig, Alex Wood, Kyle Farmer, and Matt Kemp, again, to the Reds for Josiah Gray and Jeter Downs. These 2 players never really worked out in the majors, but some of you may know why they're relevant, which we'll get into a little bit later. It's moves like these that help sustain the Dodgers' success over the past decade, and they're doing similar ones now that should support them over the next decade. To see that, let's look at how they've built their current farm system, the one that hasn't even affected the major leagues yet. First up is outfielder Josue DePaula. The Dodgers acquired him as an international amateur in 2022 for just under $400,000. This is the one area where the Dodgers haven't dominated in, but DePaula could be a start in the right direction. Next is number 20 outfielder Zaire Hope. Hope has near 5-tool potential and honestly should probably be ranked a little bit higher in my opinion, and the Dodgers got him in the Michael Busch trade. Next is number 34, outfielder Eduardo Quintero. He's another international amateur. Next is number 45, Alex Freeland, who the Dodgers drafted in 2022. Then comes Mike Sirota, who's the number 64 prospect. They got him for Gavin Lux in a trade with the Reds this offseason. It's safe to say that they won that trade. Lastly, pitcher Jackson Ferris lands at 98, which was the other player they got in the Michael Busch trade, and Emil Morales, a shortstop, is ranked at 100, who was a headlined international amateur in 2024. These prospects can be used in 2 ways, to help the major league team in the future or to trade away for proven help now. The Dodgers have used both these methods. You might remember when they traded for Mookie Betts. They gave away former draftees Alex Verdugo and Connor Wong, along with a prospect they got in a trade, Jeter Downs. This would allow the Dodgers to negotiate an extension with Betts without him ever reaching free agency. The second biggest trade they made was acquiring Max Scherzer and Trey Turner from the Nationals in exchange for Keibert Ruiz and Josiah Gray. We saw Gray before, who the Dodgers got in the Puig trade. Those two players were the Dodgers' top two prospects at the time, and it allowed them to go out and get two of the league's top players. The Dodgers' prospect acquisition system as a whole is really the engine that keeps this team competitive, and the biggest reason why they're even overshadowing other big market teams like the Yankees, Mets, Phillies, and so on.